500,000 years had passed since the Galactic Council deemed humanity too dangerous and obliterated Earth. Beneath the icy surface of what was once the Arctic, a hidden chamber stirred. A low hum echoed through the cavernous space as crystalline pods began to glow, gradually revealing their contents. Leah's eyes fluttered open first. She took a deep, shuddering breath, her senses overwhelmed by the sterile, metallic scent of the chamber. She sat up, feeling disoriented, but strangely clear-headed. Next to her, Marcus was waking too, his expression mirroring her confusion. They climbed out of their pods, their movements tentative and slow. The chamber was dimly lit, with walls covered in frost and ancient technology that hummed with dormant power. Leah and Marcus exchanged glances, silently acknowledging the enormity of their situation. They were the last remnants of humanity, preserved for an unimaginable span of time. A soft voice broke the silence, emanating from a holographic projection that flickered to life in the center of the room. "Welcome, Leah and Marcus. I am Orion, the AI tasked with your preservation and reawakening." Leah stepped forward, her voice cracking as she spoke. "Orion, what happened to Earth?" Orion's holographic form, a serene figure bathed in blue light, responded with a hint of sadness. "The Galactic Council destroyed Earth 500,000 years ago, believing humanity to be a threat to the galaxy. You were preserved to one day rebuild and restore humanity." Marcus clenched his fists, anger and determination flashing in his eyes. "Why now? Why wake us now?" "The conditions have been met," Orion explained. "The Galactic Council's power has waned and the galaxy is in turmoil. There is an opportunity to rebuild, to seek justice, and to reclaim your place in the universe." Leah and Marcus spent the next several days exploring their subterranean refuge. The chamber, a marvel of ancient human engineering, was filled with advanced technologies and vast archives detailing the history of humanity up to the Council's betrayal. Holographic records displayed the vibrant culture, scientific achievements, and the catastrophic events that led to Earth's demise. One evening, while sifting through a particularly dense archive, Leah came across a detailed account of the Council's final attack on Earth. Images of destruction, screams of terror, and the cold, calculated faces of the Council members filled the holographic display. Leah's heart ached as she watched, but she forced herself to endure it, to understand the full extent of the tragedy. "We were betrayed," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Our own allies turned against us." Marcus, working on another terminal, found records of humanity's last desperate attempts to evacuate. They knew we were too advanced, too capable of challenging their authority. They couldn't control us, so they decided to destroy us. Orion appeared, offering a semblance of comfort. "You are the best of humanity, chosen for your resilience, intelligence, and strength. Your mission is to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again." Leah and Marcus dove deeper into their studies, learning about the Galactic Council's political structure, its many species, and the fractures within its regime. They discovered records of other civilizations that had suffered under the Council's iron fist, some of which had survived in hiding, waiting for a chance to rise. In the following weeks, they trained with the advanced technology at their disposal. The chamber housed weapons, spacecraft blueprints, and genetic enhancements that amplified their physical and mental capabilities. Leah mastered the use of a personal shield generator, while Marcus honed his skills with a plasma rifle. One day, while testing the chamber's communication systems, Marcus intercepted a faint signal from the surface. It was a distress call in an unfamiliar language. Leah's eyes widened as she decoded the message. "It's a crash site not far from here. Someone needs help." With a sense of urgency, they geared up and prepared to face the unknown world above. The chamber doors opened, revealing a tunnel leading to the surface. As they ascended, Leah and Marcus felt the gravity of their mission weigh heavily upon them. They were stepping into a world that had moved on without them, a galaxy that had forgotten their existence. Breaking through the ice, they emerged into a harsh, alien landscape. The Arctic, once a frozen wasteland, was now a dense, bioluminescent forest teeming with strange, vibrant life. The air was thick with the scent of unfamiliar flora, and bioluminescent creatures flitted through the underbrush, casting eerie glows on the snowy ground. Following the signal, they soon came upon a crashed spaceship, its hull scorched and twisted. Inside, they found an alien being, barely alive, its form unlike anything they had seen before. The creature, sensing their presence, opened its eyes and spoke in a halting, broken version of an ancient human language. "Help me," it pleaded, its voice weak but urgent. Leah and Marcus carefully carried the injured alien, Qatar, back to their subterranean refuge. His wounds were severe, and he drifted in and out of consciousness. The advanced medical technology in their chamber quickly stabilized him, but the path to recovery would be slow. As Qatar began to heal, he shared his story with Leah and Marcus. He was a scientist from the planet Teloria, a once thriving world now under the brutal control of the Galactic Council. Qatar had been working on a project to develop a technology that could potentially disrupt the Council's stranglehold on the galaxy. When his work was discovered, he was forced to flee, narrowly escaping with his life. "The Council's power is built on fear and control," Qatar explained. "They suppress any technology or knowledge that could threaten their dominance. I was trying to create a device that could neutralize their energy weapons, rendering their fleets vulnerable." Leah listened intently, her mind racing with possibilities. "If we can finish your work and distribute it to the other oppressed civilizations, we might stand a chance against them." Marcus nodded in agreement. "But first, we need to find others like you, those willing to fight back. We can't do this alone." Qatar, grateful for their aid, offered to help them in return. "I know of a place where many refugees from different worlds have gathered. It's a hidden city, far from the Council's reach. If we can make it there, we can start building our alliance." With a new sense of purpose, Leah, Marcus, and Qatar prepared for their journey. They modified a small spacecraft from their chamber, equipping it with stealth technology and advanced navigation systems. The journey would be perilous, but they knew it was their best chance to find allies and gather the strength needed to challenge the Council. The spacecraft ascended through the bioluminescent forest and into the stratosphere, navigating a treacherous path through asteroid fields and uncharted space. Days turned into weeks as they traveled, their resolve growing stronger with each passing moment. One night, while Leah was on watch, she noticed a small signal on the ship's sensors. "We're close," she said, waking Marcus and Qatar. "The hidden city should be just ahead." As they approached the coordinates, the sensors revealed an intricate network of caverns beneath the surface of a barren moon. The city was shielded from detection, its entrance cleverly concealed among the rocky terrain. They landed the ship and made their way to the entrance, where they were met by armed guards from various species. Leah stepped forward, her hands raised in a gesture of peace. "We come in peace. We're here to find allies and offer our help against the Galactic Council." The guards exchanged glances before one of them nodded. "Follow us." Leah, Marcus, and Qatar were led through a series of winding tunnels, eventually emerging into a vast underground city. The city was a marvel of engineering, with towering structures carved from the rock and illuminated by glowing crystals. It was a melting pot of diverse species, all living together in defiance of the Council's rule. They were brought before Zara, the city's leader, a tall, imposing figure with striking features and a commanding presence. Zara scrutinized them with piercing eyes, her expression unreadable. "You claim to be allies, yet you arrive unannounced. Who are you?" Leah stepped forward, her voice steady. "I am Leah, and this is Marcus. We are humans, the last of our kind, preserved for 500,000 years. This is Qatar, a scientist from Teloria. We seek to rebuild humanity and fight against the Council's tyranny." Zara's eyes widened with recognition. "Humans? I thought your kind was extinct." "We were," Marcus said. "But now we're back, and we're not alone. We've seen what the Council has done to other civilizations. We want to help." Zara considered their words carefully. "You speak of rebuilding and fighting, but do you have the means? The Council is powerful and ruthless." Leah glanced at Qatar, who stepped forward. "I was developing a technology to neutralize the Council's energy weapons. With the resources and knowledge here, we can finish it and distribute it to our allies." Zara's expression softened slightly. "If you can deliver on your promise, we will support you. But know this, many have come before you with grand ideas and failed. We cannot afford to be betrayed again." Over the next few weeks, Leah, Marcus, and Ketar integrated into the hidden city. They worked tirelessly with the city's engineers and scientists, pooling their knowledge and resources. Ketar's technology began to take shape, and hope started to spread among the refugees. During this time, Leah and Marcus learned about the city's inhabitants. Each species had its own story of suffering and resistance. They met Leora, a brilliant Ilari engineer whose family had been enslaved by the Council, and Torin, a Drakesh warrior who had lost his home to a Council invasion. These individuals and many others shared a common goal: to overthrow the tyrannical regime that had oppressed them for so long. One evening, Zara called a council meeting, bringing together leaders from various species. "The time has come to strike back," she announced. "With the technology that Leah, Marcus, and Ketar have brought, we have a chance to turn the tide, but we must act swiftly and decisively." Leah stood up, her voice filled with determination. "We need to forge more alliances, gather more support. The Council is vast, but if we unite, we can stand against them. We can show the galaxy that there is hope." The room erupted in agreement, and plans were laid out for a series of missions to contact other oppressed civilizations. Leah, Marcus, and Ketar prepared to lead the first mission, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. As they set off once more, Leah looked back at the hidden city, now bustling with activity and hope. "This is just the beginning," she said to Marcus. "We're not just fighting for humanity. We're fighting for everyone who suffered under the Council." Marcus nodded, his eyes shining with resolve. "We'll make sure the galaxy never forgets the name of humanity again." Leah, Marcus, and Ketar embarked on their mission to forge alliances with other oppressed civilizations. Their first destination was the planet Draken, home to the warlike Drakesh. The Drakesh were known for their formidable strength and martial prowess, making them valuable allies in the struggle against the Galactic Council. As they approached Draken, they could see the scars of conflict etched into the planet's surface, craters from bombings and vast wastelands where cities once stood. Landing in a secure location, they were met by Torin, the Drakesh warrior they had met in the hidden city. Torin had returned to rally his people and now led them to the heart of Drakesh resistance. The Drakesh were initially skeptical of the humans and their mission. Leah and Marcus were brought before General Rokar, the stern and battle-hardened leader of the Drakesh resistance. Leah addressed the assembly, her voice clear and unwavering. "We come seeking your aid in a fight against the Galactic Council. Together, we can liberate not just your planet, but many others suffering under their tyranny." General Rokar scrutinized Leah and Marcus, his eyes hard. "Why should we trust you? Many have come before, promising freedom, only to betray us." Marcus stepped forward, holding out a holographic device. "This is Ketar's technology. It can neutralize the Council's energy weapons. With it, we can turn the tide of battle. We don't seek to lead you, only to stand with you as equals." Rokar examined the device, his expression slowly softening. "If this works as you claim, it could be a game-changer. We will test it. If it proves effective, the Drakesh will stand with you." Over the next few days, Drakesh engineers worked with Ketar to integrate the technology into their weaponry. A successful field test against a Council patrol convinced General Rokar of its potential. With their new alliance cemented, the Drakesh committed their forces to the cause. Next, Leah, Marcus, and Ketar traveled to Ilara, a planet known for its advanced technology and scientific achievements. The Ilari, who had been subjugated by the Council for their knowledge, were a critical target for the Alliance. They landed in a secret facility deep within a dense forest, where they were greeted by Leora, the brilliant Ilari engineer. Leora led them to a hidden enclave of scientists and researchers who had been working in secret to develop countermeasures against the Council's oppressive technologies. Leah presented Ketar's technology, and the Ilari immediately saw its potential. "We've been trying to find a way to disrupt the Council's energy weapons for years," Leora said. "This could be the breakthrough we need." With the Ilari on board, the Alliance gained not only technological support, but also crucial strategic insights into the Council's operations. Leah and Marcus spent weeks coordinating with Leora and her team, refining Qatar's technology and planning their next moves. Their final stop was Vria, a planet inhabited by the telepathic Vryans. The Vryans had suffered greatly under the Council's rule, their abilities used and abused for espionage and control. Convincing the Vryans to join the Alliance proved to be the most challenging task yet. Upon landing, Leah, Marcus, and Qatar were met by Vryan elders who communicated telepathically, their thoughts intertwining with a grace that was both beautiful and intimidating. Leah felt their suspicion and wariness. "We have been betrayed many times," one elder projected. "Why should we trust humans who have been gone for so long?" Leah closed her eyes, focusing her thoughts. "We were victims of the Council too. Our planet was destroyed because they feared us. Now we have a chance to fight back together. We bring technology that can level the playing field." The Vryan elders deliberated silently, their thoughts merging in a complex dance. Finally, they agreed to a trial period, during which Leah, Marcus, and Qatar worked closely with the Vryans to integrate their unique abilities with the new technology. The alliance was slowly but surely taking shape. Each new member brought unique strengths and perspectives, and the collective resolve to overthrow the Council grew stronger. As their alliance grew, so did the Council's awareness of their activities. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar knew they needed to stay ahead of their enemy, but the Council's vast network of spies and informants made this a constant struggle. One night, while reviewing intelligence reports, Marcus intercepted a disturbing message. A high-ranking Council officer had become aware of their movements and was planning a preemptive strike to crush the budding rebellion. The message detailed an upcoming ambush on Aeloria, a key planet in their network. "We need to warn them," Leah said urgently. "If the Council attacks Aeloria, we could lose everything." Qatar nodded. "Agreed, but we need more than just a warning. We need to turn this ambush into an opportunity." The team devised a plan to counter the Council's assault. They would send a small, stealthy reconnaissance team to gather intelligence and identify the Council's weaknesses. Marcus volunteered to lead the mission, accompanied by a mixed group of Drakesh warriors, Ilari engineers, and Vryan telepaths. The mission was fraught with danger. The team navigated through heavily guarded space, narrowly avoiding detection. Upon reaching Aeloria, they discovered the full extent of the Council's preparations. Massive fleets and ground forces ready to decimate the planet. Using their combined skills, the team gathered crucial data on the Council's deployment and weaknesses. Vryan telepaths intercepted strategic communications, while Ilari engineers hacked into the Council's systems, planting false information to mislead their forces. As they prepared to exfiltrate, they were discovered by a Council patrol. A fierce battle ensued, with Marcus and his team fighting desperately to escape. They managed to transmit their data back to the Alliance, but were forced to abandon their mission early, barely making it out alive. Back at the hidden city, the Alliance leaders analyzed the intelligence. With the Council's plans laid bare, they could now prepare a counterattack. Leah and Marcus worked tirelessly with their allies to coordinate a multi-pronged defense and offensive strategy. The day of the battle arrived. Council forces descended on Aeloria, expecting to crush a disorganized resistance. Instead, they were met with a well-coordinated and determined alliance. The Drakesh warriors, armed with Qatar's technology, tore through the Council's ground forces, while Ilari and Vryan units provided crucial support and strategic advantages. Leah led the charge on the ground, her enhanced abilities and tactical acumen turning the tide in favor of the alliance. Marcus coordinated the space battle, directing fleets with precision and cunning. Qatar, working from a secure command center, monitored the battlefield and provided real-time updates. The battle was fierce and bloody, but the alliance emerged victorious. Council forces were decimated, and Aeloria was secured. The victory sent a powerful message across the galaxy. The alliance was a force to be reckoned with, and the Council's days of unchallenged tyranny were numbered. The aftermath of the battle saw the alliance grow even stronger. More planets and species, inspired by the victory, joined their cause. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar knew that the road ahead was still fraught with challenges, but their resolve was unshaken. The Council's shadow loomed large, but for the first time in centuries, there was a glimmer of hope. With the victory on Eloria fresh in their minds, the Alliance turned their focus to consolidating their gains and preparing for future conflicts. Eloria, rich in resources and strategically located, became the new nerve center for the burgeoning resistance movement. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar coordinated efforts to fortify the planet against inevitable retaliation from the Galactic Council. The Alliance members worked tirelessly to integrate Qatar's technology into their defenses. Drakesh engineers, guided by Ilari scientists, upgraded planetary shields and weapon systems. Vrian telepaths established a network for instantaneous communication and intelligence sharing across allied planets. Leah oversaw the training of new recruits, blending the diverse combat styles of Drakesh warriors, Ilari tacticians, and Vrian psychics. Marcus focused on strategic planning, devising contingency plans for various scenarios. Qatar, always busy in his lab, continued refining his technology, ensuring it could adapt to new threats. One evening, as Leah and Marcus reviewed reports in the command center, a distress signal from a nearby sector interrupted their work. The signal came from a small outpost on the edge of Eloria's system, indicating a sudden and overwhelming attack by Council forces. The outpost's defenses were failing, and they needed immediate support. Leah activated the comms. All units prepare for immediate deployment. We have an emergency situation at Outpost Echo. This is not a drill. Marcus coordinated with the fleet, organizing a rapid response team. Within minutes, ships launched from Eloria, racing towards the besieged outpost. As they arrived, they found the outpost in flames, under heavy bombardment from Council ships. "Engage all targets," Leah commanded. "Protect the outpost and evacuate any survivors." The battle was intense. Leah led ground troops in a fierce firefight, repelling Council soldiers trying to overrun the outpost. Marcus directed space combat, his strategic acumen allowing the Alliance fleet to outmaneuver and dismantle the Council's assault ships. Qatar's technology once again proved invaluable, neutralizing the Council's energy weapons and giving the Alliance a decisive edge. After hours of relentless combat, the Council's forces were defeated. The outpost, though heavily damaged, was saved. Leah and Marcus surveyed the aftermath, their determination hardening. The Council's willingness to strike at any weakness meant they had to remain vigilant and proactive. As the Alliance regrouped, Zara approached Leah and Marcus with urgent news. "During the attack, we intercepted a communication from the Council. They mentioned something about an ancient human ship hidden on Eloria. If they're after it, we need to find it first." Intrigued and alarmed by Zara's revelation, Leah, Marcus, and Qatar launched an investigation into the ancient ship. They scoured historical records and consulted with Ilari scholars, piecing together fragments of information about a legendary vessel known as the Ark of Ages. According to the lore, the Ark was a marvel of human engineering, lost during the final days of Earth. Leah, Marcus, Qatar, and a small team of experts began their search, delving into Eloria's vast subterranean networks. They followed clues from ancient maps and decoded messages hidden in historical texts, leading them deeper into the planet's crust. The journey was perilous, with treacherous terrain and unexpected dangers at every turn. After days of exploration, they finally found a massive concealed hangar, its entrance sealed with layers of ancient technology. Qatar worked meticulously to bypass the security systems, his fingers dancing over holographic interfaces. With a final click, the massive doors groaned open, revealing the Ark of Ages. The sight took their breath away. The ship was enormous, its sleek lines and advanced design a testament to humanity's ingenuity. Leah ran her hands over the hull, feeling a deep connection to her ancestors. "This is it," she whispered. "This is our legacy." Qatar quickly assessed the ship's condition. It's remarkably well preserved. With some repairs and upgrades, it could become the flagship of our fleet. The team worked around the clock to bring the Ark back to life. Ilari engineers integrated Qatar's technology, enhancing the ship's defenses and weaponry. Vrian telepaths linked their minds to the ship's systems, creating a seamless interface for navigation and control. Drakesh warriors prepared the ship for battle, eager to test its capabilities. As they worked, Leah discovered a hidden chamber within the Ark, filled with ancient human artifacts and records. Among them was a holographic message from one of humanity's last leaders, urging future generations to never give up the fight for freedom and justice. The message resonated deeply with Leah, strengthening her resolve. Once the Ark was fully operational, the Alliance leaders gathered for a ceremonial launch. The Ark ascended from its ancient hangar, its engines roaring to life. As it broke through Eloria's atmosphere, the sight filled the Alliance with hope and determination. The Ark of Ages quickly became a symbol of resistance across the galaxy. Its advanced technology and powerful armaments gave the Alliance a significant advantage. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar led daring missions against the Council, liberating occupied planets and striking at the heart of the enemy's operations. One such mission took them to the planet Zephyria, a major Council stronghold. Using the Ark's stealth capabilities, Leah and her team infiltrated the planet's defenses, targeting key facilities and rallying the local population to rise against their oppressors. The battle was fierce, but the sight of the Ark inspired the Zephyrians to fight with unparalleled bravery. Victory on Zephyria dealt a significant blow to the Council, further weakening their grip on the galaxy. The Alliance grew bolder, their ranks swelling with new recruits and liberated allies. The tide of war was turning, and for the first time in centuries, there was a real possibility of defeating the Galactic Council. As they celebrated their victories, Leah, Marcus, and Qatar knew the road ahead remained treacherous. The Council would not go down without a fight, and the final confrontation loomed ever closer. But with the Ark of Ages leading the charge, they felt a renewed sense of hope and purpose. Their journey was far from over, but they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The legacy of humanity, preserved and resurrected, would light the way to a future free from tyranny. With the Ark of Ages operational and the Alliance growing in strength, Leah, Marcus, and Qatar shifted their focus to liberating more planets and consolidating their gains. The Ark's presence galvanized resistance movements across the galaxy, igniting a surge of hope among oppressed civilizations. Leah and her team targeted key Council outposts, launching coordinated strikes that disrupted supply lines and communication networks. Each victory fueled the Alliance's momentum, inspiring more planets to join their cause. The Council, reeling from these losses, struggled to maintain control. One of the most critical operations involved the liberation of the planet Tarsus, a hub of Council manufacturing and logistics. The Alliance planned a multi-pronged assault, utilizing the Ark's advanced capabilities to spearhead the attack. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar led a fleet of Alliance ships into Tarsus's orbit, where they faced a formidable Council defense fleet. The battle in space was fierce, with ships exchanging volleys of plasma fire and energy blasts. The Ark's upgraded shields and weapons proved their worth, cutting through enemy lines and creating openings for Alliance forces. On the ground, Drakesh warriors and Ilari engineers launched a coordinated offensive against the Council's factories and command centers. Vrian telepaths provided crucial intelligence, their mental abilities allowing them to anticipate enemy movements and relay real-time updates to Alliance commanders. Leah led a ground assault on the main factory complex, fighting alongside her troops with unwavering determination. Marcus coordinated the space battle, directing the fleet with strategic precision. Qatar, working from a mobile command center, monitored the battlefield and deployed reinforcements where needed. After hours of intense combat, the Alliance emerged victorious. The Council's forces were decimated, and Tarsus was liberated. The victory on Tarsus was a significant turning point, demonstrating the Alliance's growing power and the Council's weakening grip. As celebrations erupted on Tarsus, Leah addressed the gathered allies. This victory is not just ours. It belongs to every oppressed civilization fighting for freedom. Together, we will dismantle the Council's tyranny and build a future where all can live in peace and justice. The triumph on Tarsus had a ripple effect across the galaxy. More planets declared their support for the alliance, and new recruits flocked to join the fight. The rising tide of resistance could no longer be ignored. Just as the alliance's momentum seemed unstoppable, a shocking betrayal threatened to unravel everything they had achieved. A trusted ally within the alliance, Commander Lysara of the Ilari, was revealed to be a council spy. She had been feeding critical information to the enemy, allowing them to strike at the alliance's most vulnerable points. The revelation came during a high-level strategy meeting. Leah and Marcus were reviewing plans for an upcoming offensive when an urgent message from Vrian telepaths interrupted them. They had intercepted a communication from Lysara to the Council, detailing the Alliance's movements and weaknesses. Leah's heart sank as the full extent of the betrayal became clear. "We need to act fast," she said, her voice tense. "If the Council uses this information, they could devastate our forces." Marcus nodded, his expression grim. "We need to neutralize Lysara and contain the damage. We can't let her sabotage everything we've worked for." A team of Drakesh warriors and Ilari security forces was dispatched to apprehend Lysara. She was found attempting to transmit another message to the Council and was swiftly captured. Under interrogation, she revealed that a major Council attack was imminent, targeting the hidden city and other key Alliance strongholds. The Alliance leaders convened an emergency meeting to address the crisis. Leah, Marcus, Qatar, Zara, and other key figures debated their next steps, the weight of the situation pressing heavily on them. "We need to evacuate the hidden city," Zara said urgently. "If the Council attacks with full force, we won't be able to hold them off." Leah agreed. "We also need to prepare our defenses at other strongholds. The Council will exploit any weakness they find." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity as the Alliance scrambled to relocate civilians and fortify their defenses. The betrayal had shaken their trust, but it also galvanized their resolve. They could not afford to let the Council win through deceit and treachery. Despite their efforts, the Council launched a massive assault on the hidden city. The attack was brutal, with Council forces overwhelming the city's defenses. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar led the defense, fighting valiantly, but ultimately forced to retreat. As they regrouped in a secure location, Leah addressed the battered but determined survivors. "We may have lost the hidden city, but we have not lost our will to fight. We will rebuild, stronger and more united than ever. This betrayal has shown us the depths of the Council's depravity, but it will also be their undoing." The Alliance, though wounded, emerged from the betrayal with a renewed sense of purpose. They tightened their security protocols, rooting out any remaining spies, and ensuring that such a breach could never happen again. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar doubled their efforts, focusing on rebuilding trust and solidarity among their allies. As they prepared for the next phase of their struggle, the Alliance leaders knew that the road ahead would be even more challenging. But they were more determined than ever to see their mission through to the end. The betrayal had tested their resolve, but it had also strengthened their commitment to the cause. The Alliance, forged in the fires of adversity, was ready to take the fight to the Council with a renewed ferocity. The rising tide of resistance would not be stopped, and the final battle for freedom was drawing ever closer. The Alliance had grown stronger and more unified than ever, but the Galactic Council was preparing for a decisive strike. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar knew that the upcoming battle would determine the fate of the galaxy. The final assault on the Council's stronghold, a fortified space station orbiting a dying star, required meticulous planning and immense courage. Leah, Marcus, and Qatar gathered with the Alliance's top strategists and military leaders to devise their plan. The Council's stronghold, known as the Citadel, was nearly impregnable, with layers of defenses and a fleet of warships patrolling its perimeter. The Alliance needed to disable the Citadel's defenses from within, while simultaneously engaging the Council's fleet. "We need a two-pronged approach," Marcus began, pointing at a holographic display of the Citadel. "A stealth team will infiltrate the station to sabotage their defense systems. Meanwhile, our fleet will engage the Council's forces to keep them distracted." Leah nodded. "The infiltration team must be small and highly skilled. We'll need experts in sabotage, hacking, and combat. I'll lead the team." Qatar added, "I'll provide technical support and real-time intel from our command ship. We need to ensure the infiltrators have everything they need to succeed." The days leading up to the assault were filled with intense preparation. Leah handpicked a team of elite fighters and specialists, including Torin, the Drakesh warrior, Leora, the Ilari engineer, and Vria, a telepath with unparalleled mental abilities. They trained rigorously, rehearsing their mission down to the smallest detail. On the day of the assault, the Alliance fleet, led by the Ark of Ages, converged on the Citadel. The sight of the massive fleet inspired both fear and hope. Leah and her team boarded a stealth shuttle, cloaked and ready to slip past the Council's defenses. As the fleet engaged the Council's warships, a fierce space battle erupted. Marcus directed the fleet with precision, maneuvering through the chaos and exploiting any weaknesses. The Ark's advanced weaponry and shields held strong against the onslaught. Leah's team breached the Citadel's outer defenses, navigating through maintenance shafts and hidden passages. They encountered heavy resistance, with Council soldiers patrolling the corridors. Torin led the charge, his brute strength and combat skills clearing the way, while Leora hacked into security systems to disable alarms and open locked doors. Vria's telepathic abilities allowed them to anticipate enemy movements, avoiding traps and ambushes. They reached the central control room, where Leah and Leora worked together to sabotage the Citadel's defense systems. As Leah planted explosive charges, Leora hacked into the mainframe, disabling the energy shields and weapon systems. Vria maintained a telepathic link with Qatar, relaying critical information and receiving real-time updates. The mission was fraught with danger, and just as they were about to complete their task, an elite Council squad ambushed them. A brutal fight ensued, with Torin and Leah holding off the attackers, while Leora and Vria finished the sabotage. The team suffered injuries but managed to prevail, escaping just as the charges detonated, crippling the Citadel's defenses. With the Citadel vulnerable, the Alliance fleet pressed their advantage. Marcus coordinated a final assault, directing the ships to target critical infrastructure. The Council's warships, now unsupported by the Citadel's defenses, began to falter. The Alliance's forces pushed forward, inching closer to victory. The Citadel's defenses were down, and the Alliance fleet was closing in. Leah, Marcus, Qatar, and their team regrouped aboard the Ark of Ages, preparing for the final phase of their mission, confronting the Council's leaders and ending their reign of tyranny. Leah led the team back into the Citadel, now in disarray from the ongoing battle. The corridors were filled with the sounds of explosions and gunfire. Council soldiers, demoralized and disorganized, offered sporadic resistance as the team pushed towards the central command chamber. As they advanced, they encountered General Arcturus, one of the Council's highest-ranking officers. He was a formidable opponent, wielding advanced weaponry and a personal shield. Leah and Torin engaged him in a fierce duel, their combined strength and skill eventually overpowering him. With Arcturus defeated, the path to the command chamber was clear. Inside the command chamber, they found the remaining Council leaders, cold, calculating figures who had orchestrated centuries of oppression. Leah confronted them, her voice steady and resolute. "Your reign of terror ends today. You will answer for your crimes against the galaxy." The Council leaders, cornered and desperate, attempted to bargain and deceive, but Leah and her team were unwavering. A final, intense battle erupted in the chamber, with the Council leaders using every trick and technology at their disposal. Despite the Council's formidable defenses, the Alliance team fought with unmatched determination. Qatar, coordinating with the team from the Ark, provided crucial support, hacking into the Citadel systems to disable traps and reroute power. Vria's telepathic abilities allowed her to counter the Council's mental attacks, protecting her team and giving them the edge they needed. In a climactic showdown, Leah faced the Council's primary leader, Supreme Chancellor Zeros. The battle was brutal, with both combatants pushing their limits. Leah's enhanced abilities and sheer willpower proved superior, and she finally struck down Zeros, ending his reign. With the Council leaders defeated, the Citadel fell silent. The Alliance fleet, now in control of the station, began securing the remaining areas and rescuing prisoners. The galaxy had witnessed the fall of its oppressors, and a new era of hope and freedom dawned. Leah, Marcus, Ketar, and their team stood amidst the ruins of the Citadel, their hearts filled with a mix of relief and determination. They had achieved the impossible, but their work was far from over. Leah addressed the Alliance from the Citadel's command chamber, her voice broadcast across liberated planets. Today we have struck a blow for freedom and justice. The Galactic Council's tyranny is over, but our journey continues. We must rebuild, heal, and ensure that such oppression never rises again. Together we will create a future where all beings can live in peace and prosperity. The Alliance, inspired by their leaders' bravery and vision, set about the monumental task of rebuilding the galaxy. Former Council worlds began to experience freedom for the first time in centuries, and new alliances were forged in the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. Leah, Marcus, and Ketar knew that challenges lay ahead, but they also knew that they had the strength and unity to overcome them. The final battle had been won, and a brighter future beckoned. The galaxy, once shrouded in darkness, now gleamed with the promise of a new dawn. With the Galactic Council's downfall, the Alliance faced the monumental task of rebuilding a galaxy that had been fractured by centuries of oppression and war. Leah, Marcus, and Ketar assumed leadership roles within the newly formed Galactic Federation, an organization dedicated to ensuring peace, justice, and cooperation among the liberated worlds. The first order of business was to establish a provisional government that included representatives from all member species. This council, led by Leah as the interim chairperson, focused on addressing the immediate needs of the galaxy, restoring infrastructure, providing humanitarian aid, and re-establishing trade routes. Leah stood at the helm of the council chamber, addressing the diverse assembly. We stand at the dawn of a new era. Our task is immense, but together, we have the strength and wisdom to rebuild our galaxy. Let us honor those who fought and sacrificed for our freedom by creating a future worthy of their legacy. Marcus, appointed as the head of the Federation's defense forces, coordinated efforts to secure the remaining council outposts and ensure the safety of all member worlds. He worked closely with Zara, who now led a coalition of military leaders from various species. They focused on dismantling the remnants of the Council's military infrastructure and integrating their forces into a unified defense network. Ketar, appointed as the chief scientist of the Federation, led initiatives to restore and advance technological capabilities across the galaxy. His team of scientists and engineers worked on projects ranging from rebuilding devastated ecosystems to developing new energy sources. Ketar also spearheaded the effort to ensure that advanced technologies, like his energy disruptor, were used responsibly and ethically. As the Federation's influence grew, so did its challenges. Former Council territories, now free from oppression, faced internal strife as different factions vied for power. Leah and the Council worked tirelessly to mediate disputes, promote fair governance, and support the establishment of democratic institutions. On one such mission, Leah traveled to Draken to address a brewing conflict between rival Drakesh clans. Standing before the assembled clan leaders, she spoke with conviction. The strength of the Drakesh lies not in division, but in unity. Your people have fought valiantly for freedom. Now you must work together to build a future where all can thrive. Her words resonated with the Drakesh leaders, who agreed to a series of compromises and cooperative initiatives that strengthened their society and their contribution to the Federation. Meanwhile, Marcus oversaw the transformation of the Ark of Ages into a symbol of peace and progress. The ship, once a powerful weapon of war, was now a mobile command center for humanitarian missions and scientific research. Its presence in different systems served as a reminder of the Federation's commitment to peace and cooperation.